Hello Super Friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow. And in today's video we're going to be talking about a specific Arrow related topic, which is Cayden James' so-called criminal Cabal. And if you don't know what this is the team of villains that have formed around Cayden James to take on Team Arrow in Arrow Season 6. We're going to go through each member and discuss what their game and motivation may be as for joining Cayden James. So we saw in the mid-season finale of Arrow Season 6, in the very final shot, we saw Cayden James in his base, surrounded by a team of villains who had all appeared so far in Arrow Season 6, but we didn't know they were all teamed up and linked together. However, this reveal shows that there is this team of villains going up against Team Arrow for the rest of Season 6. So let's go through each one. I'll start off with Cayden James. Cayden James is sort of playing off as the main big bad this season so far, although I don't think that'll stick. But Cayden James, what is his motivation for being there? Well, we obviously know, based on a few episodes ago, that he has a vendetta against Oliver due to something that happened to his son. Now, we don't know what this is yet, we don't know who his son is. I have a personal theory about that, but that is definitely his main motivation, is to do with his son. It seems like we may get the reveal of Cayden James' son next episode in the mid-season premiere. As we see in the synopsis, it reads that Oliver discovers a big secret about Cayden James. Now, I did have a theory for a while that Cayden's son may have been Roy Harper, which is why Roy was coming back, but Roy doesn't come back until episode 15, so I feel that that's a bit of a stretch. But, like I said, I think Cayden James leading this team, it's something to do with his son against Oliver. Now, there is also Black Siren. Now, Black Siren has had a bit of a journey throughout the Arrowverse, first being controlled by Zoom on The Flash Season 2, then being under the influence of Prometheus in Arrow Season 5, and now she's under the influence of Cayden James here in Arrow Season 6. Poor Laurel, I mean, she never is just her own person. She's always a lackey for someone, and I don't understand why that is, because she's such a strong character, and I feel that Katie Cassidy does such a good job in this role, but that's just how it is. Now, we know that Black Siren is a very conflicted character, and I feel that that is still going to ring true throughout this season, although I still feel she may be a bit bitter towards Team Arrow based on the Season 5 finale and what went down there. I feel that she is definitely still that conflicted character inside that we saw in the mid-season finale. And I think it'd be cool if she actually turns out to be a double agent, where she's working for Team Arrow and Cayden James, and giving information to both of them. I think that'd be quite an interesting twist, and a good plot device for that character. The most confusing one for me is Vince Sable, aka the Vigilante. He got revealed a few episodes ago this season, and though it was an underwhelming reveal, it is quite interesting to see him on this team. Of course, Vince Sable, aka Vigilante, is the ex-partner of Dinah Drake. We're going to see in the mid-season premiere that him and Dinah are going to be interacting again. To some extent, we don't really know yet, but I feel that Vince being on this team is going to present a lot of drama for him and Dinah. However, Vigilante being on this team completely goes against what we were told about him in Season 5. In Season 5, Vigilante was portrayed as basically just a murdering Green Arrow, just somebody who does the exact same job as Green Arrow, but in quotes, uses a more effective weapon. And, you know, but he still had a code, and he still was a true to right to Vigilante. But this, putting him on a villain team like this, and turning him into a supervillain, completely goes against his motivations originally. I personally feel that Vigilante may die this season. I feel that, you know, he's going to get some sort of payoff where he'll end up maybe being a hero. I feel that a lot of these villains may actually meet a demise. I think Vigilante's the first one. I just feel that his story, I can't see where he's going to go, and I feel that perhaps him dying could show him off as being more of a hero in the end than a villain. I feel that's definitely a way they could be going with Vince and his story. There's also that Boots guy who's been there working with Cayden James ever since we started seeing him. I mean, we don't really know who this guy is. He's barely got any screen time. We don't know what his deal is. So he's just going to be there. I think he's another one who could die pretty easily. I feel that he is just going to get killed off because we don't really know who he is. And they're not focusing on him at all. So yeah, he's definitely probably the most likely subject to die. Now, we also have Anatoly Kniazev, who is on this team. We see that in the synopsis for the mid-season premiere that Oliver turns to an unlikely ally. I have a feeling that's going to be Anatoly, or it could be Black Siren as well, to be fair, but I feel that Anatoly, you know, him and Oliver have such a rich history together, going back to the boat and back to Lian Yu, and then the Russian flashbacks last season, and even just last season in the present day. But then obviously they did take that turn in Season 5, turning them into villains once more. I feel that Anatoly is one of those characters who is just doing what he does to show the Bratva that he is the true Pahan. And I feel that doing this is just going to try and prove to them that he has completely broken off the ties with Oliver. However, I feel when it comes down to it, if Oliver is really going to need Anatoly, he will switch sides, and Anatoly will come to his senses in a way and just help Oliver, because he'll see the good in him as he always has done. So Anatoly, probably not a permanent position. Then there is Ricardo Diaz, who I believe is the most interesting one. He is the Arrow interpretation of Richard Dragon, and he is just called the Dragon in this. I feel that he is going to be the main big bad of the season, although he isn't yet, and though he hasn't been given much to do yet. I feel that he will overtake Cayden James, probably because I feel that Ricardo Diaz will actually end up shooting and killing Cayden James, and then overtaking him as the main villain very, very soon. This would make sense, as obviously these shows, they always like to have big twists and turns in them, especially around the midway point. So to have a big villain switch up like this, where the villains actually start picking each other off, I think would be really interesting, especially when Ricardo Diaz is just such an interesting villain in comparison to Cayden James, who's so boring in my opinion, that I feel that Cayden James being killed and then taken over by Ricardo Diaz is a smart choice on the writer's part, and it will just be a good way to bring that character into the spotlight. Now, we don't really know why Ricardo Diaz is on this team, because like I said, we haven't really got much about, we don't really know much about him. He's only really been highlighted as the villain in one episode so far, which I think was episode 7. And I feel that that's quite interesting, but I don't understand why he's on this team yet, but I'm sure we will, and I'm sure he has a bigger scheme to do with Star City and the whole of Team Arrow, whereas like Cayden James is mainly just going after Oliver, so I feel that he has got a lot more potential to come. So tell me in the comment section below what you guys think of this criminal Cabal team. I think it's a very cool idea. I like the idea of a team of villains, and I like all the different people on it, because like I say, it creates quite a good dynamic for all these different villains and all their motivations, although some of them still unclear. I think provides a lot of cool ideas, especially even though there are some who I feel are completely disposable, like Vigilante or Boots. The way we have got characters like Anatoly and Ricardo Diaz on there, very interesting to me indeed. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did, and share it with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV, and get them to join the community. This video was a lot of fun to make. I think this is going to be one of the most interesting things about Arrow Season 6, like I say, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. So let's just stay tuned to the channel. I'll keep updating you guys with plenty of videos from the DC TV and Arrowverse worlds, and I'll see you guys in my next video.